when I first got in it was 2004 when I joined. There was still a kind of brash outlook on what a firefighter was supposed to be and how they were supposed to look, and this kind of I don't want to say alpha mentality, because it's important to still have that, but it was a detriment. It was to a detriment, right? And I remember the first fatality call that I made as a volunteer with Cypress Creek Fire Department, and I just remember like thinking, "There's no way this was a human being. Like, there's no way possible." And getting back in the truck, and everyone was quiet. And I was like, "Oh man!" I was like, "Everyone must be dealing with this. Like, this is crazy." And like for them, right? I found out later on in my career and through being in the fire service, they were just quiet because it was just another call. It was 2 a.m. and it was just another call. And so we got back to the station, and I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be a conversation. Like, I'm probably going to be late to work and, all this stuff, right?" And one of the guys walked in and made a bag of popcorn and got a Gatorade, and 2 of the other guys are like, "All right, we're out of here." And, this, that, and the other. The other guy sat on the couch and turned on SportsCenter and just sat there. And so I just kind of sat there, and I'm like, this dude's really not going to say anything about what we just saw. And that was my first kind of idea of, okay, well, we don't talk about this. That's established now, right? Like, we don't talk about it. Because if they were going to talk about it, it would have been then. And that was true, because there wasn't a lot back then. I mean, I think, the chaplain services that we talked about were there. But I don't think a lot of people were reaching out, because I think the leaders in the organization were so far removed from this stuff affecting people the way it did that they just didn't know any better, right? And so I don't think it was malicious by any means. I don't think that there's a whole lot of malicious stuff going on at the leadership level in today's first responders. There is some, which is disheartening and sad to say, where people just don't believe in mental health altogether. They think it's a hoax. They think it doesn't work. They think that the struggle needs to be subdued, and you have a job to do, and if you can't do it, there's the door, and that's the wrong idea. And so we talk about where we're at now and how that transition kind of happened. I think with more visibility, and as the world spins faster, and as I said, I mean, COVID feels like it was yesterday, right? But that was damn near 6 years ago, right? And I think that propelled us into really a place where mental health could flourish, because we saw what isolation did. We saw what not being in relationship with people did. And then we realized, it's like one of those things that you don't know what you have until you lose it, and we lost it. And then we come back to work and we have it again. And it's like, damn, being in relationship with people and not being in isolation is extremely important. Not only is it important, it's beneficial to people's mental health. So I wonder if like we get people talking to other people, as in like counselors, if this would really help the situation. And I think that's how this whole thing kind of started stemming up, if you will, at least in my experience, from what I saw. And that's been absolutely amazing. Future generation coming in. Like I said, I teach at the Fire Academy. I speak at the EMS Academy down there for the paramedics and the EMTs both. Those folks are eating it up. They're in it. They're hungry for it. They get it. This generation, this youth is very in tune to their self-awareness and their mental health. And I think that's going to be the turning point for the fire service. I think we're preparing the bed for them to lay in once they get in it, and they'll be good to go.
Yeah, the awareness now. I mean, the suicide rates don't lie.
Yeah.
Divorce rates don't lie. There's obviously an issue that's happening there. And so I'm so refreshed to hear that there is a new culture, that has happened in the last 20 years, and, the hope of, what's coming up next with awareness as you're spreading. So thank you for being that voice
Absolutely.
out there and expressing what you've seen. And obviously, there's help out there for those that are, Jason on day one that, have nobody to talk to, because there's still shifts out there that probably, aren't talking about it.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously. So when you have that environment, you have a resource for people to go and talk about it anonymously.
Yes.
Or call you and speak publicly. So what are some of those resources that you offer to keep the conversation going?
Yeah. So you talked about the anonymous blog. I do have an anonymous blog on ironcladwellness.com. It's called the Leadership One blog. Don't let the name fool you. You don't have to be a leader by rank. I just want you to be a leader in wellness. So you can be a brand new firefighter and just be ate up with mental wellness, and I'm all for it. Just come in there and drop what you got. And then obviously our emails and phone numbers, contact information for the clinicians, it's all on there. So if you need something, or you want to set up a program, or you want to set up a training, or whatever, I mean, not even a business plug, just wanting to have tough conversations with those that need to have the tough conversations, I am all about it. And they can always call that. Obviously, suicide hotline is something that has come up in the past, and it's still available as well. 911 if someone's in immediate crisis. Just tons of resources out there. Reach out, get people help if they need it. There's so much out there.
Thank you, Jason.
Yeah.